I'm just going to go over Debbie Colliers' timeline. So it began on September the 8th when Amanda and her boyfriend Andrew moved back to Athens, Georgia from Maryland. On September the 9th, Amanda and Debbie went to dinner and they ran some errands. On that same night, neighbors reported hearing fighting, yelling, and a commotion coming from the Colliers' home. Steve, her husband, saw Debbie approximately 9 p.m. before he went to bed. They did sleep in separate rooms because he had a snoring issue. Saturday the 10th, he woke up and jumped in his car and headed to work. And at that time, he did see her rental SUV, a Chrysler Pacifica, in the driveway. He arrived at work and he was employed by Optum's Club, and he parked cars for the home games of the Georgia Bulldogs in the parking lot of the bank that he worked at. So he did this on Saturdays whenever there was a home game for the Georgia Bulldogs. He parked cars. And he did arrive there at 9 a.m. and he was reported to leave at 4:06, and this was confirmed by the investigators. At 2:55, Debbie arrived at Family Dollar, which was 90 miles away from her home, and she purchased a red tote, 2 rolls of paper towels, a lighter, a blue tarp, and a poncho. She was on a videotape from the Dollar Tree, or the Family Dollar, leaving at 3:19 p.m. What was really, really interesting is at 3:17, Amanda received that really weird Venmo message. Okay, so she received that at 3:17, and Debbie was on the video at Family Dollar leaving at 3:19 p.m. That's very strange. In the press conference that they had, the investigator was asked a question, and the question was, when was the last time Amanda saw her mother? The investigator said in these exact words, the last time Amanda spoke to her mother was September the 10th. And when asked what time, they said in the afternoon. Oh my goodness, I want to know what time in the afternoon. That would be so awesome to know. So we'll continue. At 6:04, now mind you, Steve left at 4:06 p.m. He was finished parking cars for the Georgia Bulldogs. So at 6:01, Steve and Amanda called the police and informed them of the weird Venmo message and account of events that occurred since her mom went missing. At 5 p.m., Tallulah Falls police saw that Pacifica on the side of Georgia Highway 15. Now, the police and the investigators are still investigating whether or not that vehicle stayed there from 5 p.m. from the time that Tallulah Falls police officer saw it, and if it was there all night. They're still investigating that. On September the 11th, Sirius XM contacted Athens police about the location of Debbie's car off of Georgia Highway 15 in Clarksville. Sometime before 12:28, a representative contacted Habersham 911 dispatch and explained where her car was. The sheriff responded to the highway near the intersection of Victory Home Lane. Okay, Habersham County Sergeant requested Tallulah Falls police to help locate the vehicle. The sergeant found Debbie's car at the pull-off to an old logging road. Okay, the law enforcement agencies requested a K-9 unit and an aviation team. Let's see. After law enforcement found Debbie's car, it wasn't long before they found it, Amanda shows up at the scene and started screaming that that car belonged to her mother. Okay, she also told them that her mom had no suicidal tendencies, no mental issues, and because of her mother having a back injury, there's no way she could have walked very far because of that back injury. At 3:06 p.m., law enforcement established a crime scene. Officers noticed a red bag laid on its side near an uprooted tree. Near the rooted ball of the tree, they said it appeared to be the remains of a fire. Law enforcement looked down a ravine, saw a partially burnt blue tarp and a nude female laying on her back. Right hand was grasping a small tree. The body was burned and charred, especially in the abdominal area. Oh, that's awful. All items purchased at the Family Dollar, plus her phone and her purse, were located at the crime scene. Investigators stated it's very possible that she would still be alive while holding onto the branch. And they also said it's very possible she could have survived being burnt. So that ends my timeline. Okay, so there's a few things I think that I saw from the investigation that I just want to kind of clear up. So this was a tip that is not true. It's a false tip, but no matter what, it was a tip, and they did follow up on it. There was a tip. Amanda and her mom were at Family Dollar on September the 10th, and that was Saturday, to get cleaning supplies to clean the home she was moving into. Since she just arrived here on the 8th, they were getting cleaning supplies. Investigators went through all of the video for that whole day. They spoke to all the employees that were on that day. They showed pictures of Amanda and pictures of Debbie, and it was confirmed that it was only Debbie that went to the store. Amanda wasn't in any of the footage, and none of the employees recognized her. Okay, so the second thing I think we need to clear up is in the initial law enforcement report, when they first found the body, the initial crime scene, on one of the documents, they did mark drug related. And the investigators said that gets marked a lot because it could possibly have been, because of drugs. But at this time, with all the current findings, it's not leading investigators down that path. But they said, they're not going to rule it out until they get all their tips and they get the autopsy results. So, number 3, this is being treated as a murder, not as a random act of violence. No evidence that shows that this was some random act. It's looking more and more like it was someone she knew or had an association with, not a serial killer. Also, they are not ruling out if someone may have met her there, like in another vehicle or something. They're not ruling that out. Okay, so now this is total speculation. So I'm just going to go over kind of the strange things that popped out to me and kind of how I feel. This is definitely a strange case. What we do know is Debbie and her husband were reclusive. Debbie did not have any family in the area. Her husband, Steve, was parking cars for the game September the 10th from 9 a.m. to 4:06 p.m. This has been confirmed by law enforcement. Amanda and her boyfriend, they moved back from Maryland to Athens. And when she was living in Maryland, she was living with her brother. They arrived back in Athens on 9/8. Neighbors reported fighting and commotion coming from their home on 9/9. Amanda did go to dinner with her mother on 9/9, and they ran some errands. Debbie was in the Family Dollar at 2:55 and left at 3:19, confirmed by law enforcement. Venmo was sent to Amanda at 3:17. A question was asked at the press conference, where was the Venmo sent from? Investigators stated they are attempting to determine that. They went on to say, nowadays with all the electronic and digital devices, accounts can be accessed from many different digital devices. So they're still, they subpoenaed, they're still really investigating that. Also in this press conference, the question was asked, when was the last time Amanda saw her? And they said she spoke to her on Saturday afternoon, which is really, I really want to know the time. It's really bizarre. With this timeline, the investigator stating the last time she spoke to her was in the afternoon, it just makes it really fishy. Also, the law enforcement stated it was not suicide. Current findings did not lead them to believe it was drug-related. It's not a random act of violence. It's not a serial killer, but it is someone she knew or someone she's associated with. So that is very interesting and leads me to believe we have our answers. One other thing that I kind of wanted to bring up is that the boyfriend was interviewed, Andrew, and he stated that we sleep with stuff in front of our doors, in front of our front door and our back door. We didn't have anything to do with this, and we're a little scared ourselves. Well, if you ask me, the only thing that they should be a little scared of right now is the police blazing in through their door. But that's just purely speculation. It's just my opinion. I would also like to say that there for a moment, I was losing all faith in law enforcement. This case really gave me back, a little bit of trust again. These guys were so professional, and it wasn't like they were trying to hide anything from us. It was like they were trying to give us as much information without jeopardizing their case. These guys were professional. They weren't sitting there going, oh yeah, good job, police officer. Oh yeah, good job, investigators. You know how many man hours we put into this case? They weren't doing any of that. They were doing their job, and trying to be transparent. That's what you're supposed to do. But I'm going to make a video just on the law enforcement because I was so very proud of them, and they restored my faith somewhat. But anyhow, if you have any information on this case, please call 706-839-0560 or 706-839-0559. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed.